very good morning and welcome to another video. Today we're visiting a town that's hosted kings, rebels, Vikings and even a classic TV sitcom. It straddles the border of Norfolk and Suffolk, and when I was doing my research on this small town, I suppose you could say, it warranted a visit. So let's have a look about. We're going to see what we discover. Today I'm in Thetford. Now, with the temperature due to reach 31 today, it's going to be a warm one, folks. So we need to stay hydrated. I need to pick up something to eat and drink later on. But for now, we're going to walk to the city centre, or the town centre, I should say. So Thomas Paine is probably Thetford's most well-known son from the 1700s to the early 1800s. He was involved in the American Civil War, the Revolution, and the French Revolution. He funded the American Revolution. Actually asked for some money back. I'm not sure he actually got that, but yeah, he's one of the most famous sons of Thetford. Thomas Paine, quite a big figure when you think of modern day United States and how it came about, their independence from Great Britain. It was thanks to people like him, Thomas Paine. Now behind me is Ancient House. I'm going to go in and take a look. It's all about life in the area, Thetford life. It dates back to the 1400s, this building, 1490 I think I read. It's got an exhibition on there in Maharaja Dalip Singh, I think his name was. He was exiled when they took away his territory and ruling power. He was one of the last Sikh kings of India. They brought him over here and wouldn't let him go back. He actually changed to Christianity and went back to Sikhism afterwards. But he was lived around here. He's actually buried in one of the forests. I can't remember which one, but close to Thetford. Him and his wife are buried there in the mausoleum. I want to go in and take a look. Yeah, it should be good. Let's go. 1490. What an amazing old building. Wow, would you look at that fireplace? That's what I want in my house. Look at that, that is amazing. So she was saying to me this is an original Tudor house, like I say, from the 1400s. It's a beautiful property. Not very appetising. Now this is a whipping post, and people pay good money for that these days. Now another famous person from the area was Boadicea, which I grew up with, Boudica as she's known now, and this is all stuff from her period there, in 60 AD. And that's even older. This is 3000 to 2000 BC, flint mining. So this house was presented to Thetford to make the museum by the Maharaja Singh's second son, who lived in the area, died in the area. Yeah, the Maharaja was not allowed to return to India because his land that he ruled, he was the last Sikh ruler of the Punjab region. His land was divided up in the partition, some in Pakistan, some in India. So to stop trouble, they wouldn't allow him to go back, even though he tried to. They wouldn't allow him, and he had to stay here around Thetford. He converted to Christianity, then back to being a Sikh, and then back to Christianity apparently. But he's buried in a Christian burial in the forest somewhere near here, Eldon Forest I think. And yeah, he's obviously a Maharaja from India, and very prominent in the area around Thetford, and really East Anglia, really nationally, because he was in with the Royals because of who he was. But they wouldn't allow him to go back. No way he was going to go back and cause any problems because he had a lot of influence in India. The last thing they wanted was him trying to get his land back. Now that's a happy guy. Now these are some beautiful gardens right in the middle of Thetford, and they were donated in 1947. Beautiful. Now Thetford dates back over 1,000 years, actually well over 1,000 years, and was once one of England's largest settlements. It's not a small town, well it used to be a big town, but yeah, over 1,000 years. Now all around Thetford you'll see timber frame housing, historic housing, historic pubs. It's a beautiful place in areas. Okay, so I'm sitting outside the Guildhall here in Thetford, in Market Square. Yeah, this dates back hundreds of years. It was a cultural centre for the community. The site originally housed the Guild of St Mary Hall in 1337, and yeah, it's been here ever since. Amazing. And when the dissolution of the guilds happened in 1547, it was handed to Queen Elizabeth I. But now we're going to go and visit something from my childhood, and I suppose many of you watching, I grew up every weekend, I think it was on a Sunday, the sitcom Dad's Army, about the Home Guard in the Second World War, comedy series used to be on. I used to watch it religiously, and there's a museum here because much of it was filmed in and around Thetford. You might recognise some of the places, and I'll pop a couple up on screen now, of the street scenes filmed here and around Thetford, and they've got the museum here. Let's go and find it. Can't wait to see inside. And there is our first indication of Dad's Army. Someone's painted a nice mural on the wall showing all the lads in action. And another reason I used to like Dad's Army is Pike used to wear his scarf, claret and blue for West Ham. And here she is, the fierce warrior and very brave woman herself, Boudica. And this phone box is locked, but that's because it's a prop. It was in the series, and you can see clips that they've put in the phone box for you to recognise. Wouldn't you know it, it's shut. It's open Saturdays and school holidays. Should have checked online, but there's a reason to come back, but typical, eh? Come all this way. Now don't worry, I think I can save the day. There's something down here I want to see. So do you, trust me. If it's open. And I found something else I want to see. There he is, sitting on the bench here. Captain Mainwaring. Let's go and sit next to him. Big moment for me this, sitting next to a bronze statue of Captain Mainwaring. But that's not what I wanted to show you. What I wanted to show you is up here. Yeah. Hopefully it's open. It's not going too well today. In a minute, you got Dad's Army Museum shut. But this is nice. This is a beautiful walk. This is the Little River Ouse. And this was important. This actually helped make Thetford a bigger town in its early days, because this had access for trade, obviously. Yeah, it's a beautiful walk. It's lovely here. But what I want to show you is just up here. Now, normal service is going to resume very soon, in 2 days, 3 days. What day is it today? 3 days. I'm going to be going off on another adventure. This one involves getting a flight, so obviously somewhere in Europe. You have to stay tuned to subscribe, please, for that. And hopefully the video will be out before next Friday, but if not, it'll be Saturday or Sunday. Just need time to edit. And yeah, normal service resumes. Some adventures beyond our shores. Thanks for subscribing if you have already. And if you haven't, please subscribe. It helps the channel. The last video I done with Taylor on the buses was done spectacularly well, where we finished here in Thetford. So please subscribe. I appreciate it. I don't like begging, but thanks anyway. And here's an information board. Wow, I had to stop. There's an image of what it would have looked like when it was in its prime. The Cluniac Priory of Lady of Thetford was founded in the early 12th century, owned much of its prosperity to the possession of holy relics, and became a magnet for pilgrims. It was the burial place of earls and dukes of Norfolk until its suppression by Henry VIII in 1540. So that would be the dissolution of the monasteries. A bit like Bury St Edmunds. Well, actually, it is like Bury St Edmunds. That's what it looked like. Amazing building. Let's go and have a look and see what's left. Wow. So this is amazing. You can get an idea of the scale of this monastery. There's a muntjac. Can you see the muntjac all the way over there? Can you see him? Just gone into the bush. Yeah, this gives you everything, this, but an amazing site. You can see just how vast this site was. Amazing. It's a lot like Bury St Edmunds. All that's left is this. It's built in the same way as Bury St Edmunds. Yeah, King Henry VIII, the dissolution of the monasteries, he changed everything really, and these grand buildings just fell into ruin after that. But yeah, amazing to see what's left. Hundreds and hundreds of years old. We're so lucky living in this country to be able to walk up to and see all this stuff. Yes, it's amazing. And if you think about it, me touching this stone, right, which one should I choose? Right there, I might be the first person to touch that in 700 years or more. Let's go this way. I should choose the shady path, but we're going to go down this way. So we're actually standing inside, and it says, oh, I don't even know what that says. If you know what that means, let me know, but that's where we are. I should be standing in the shade now. It's hitting 29 and it's not even 1 o'clock yet. This says warming house. Don't know what that means. And these are obviously protected because they're a bit precarious, a bit like Bury St Edmunds. Oh, I've seen the sign. Let's have a look and see what this says. Oh, the rectory. There you go. And it's a bit faded, I don't know if you can see that, but this was the monastic dining hall where monks gathered for their meals. That's what you see there. These two raised sections there, I don't know if you can see them, would be the raised section behind the barrier there, and this raised section here. And this was the rectory. So this must be the walled gardens. The wall's standing up pretty well really. They've added a little bit to the end to stabilise them now. And you've got an original gate over there. I must go over and have a look at that. So you can see where the centre part's fallen out, and this would have been all curves going up to form this gate. Isn't that amazing? Look at the detail on the stone. Amazing. What's through here? I think that's a river just there. Yeah, they don't have the money, the willpower or the skill to build like they used to. I mean, alright, this is a cobbled together stone, but I mean using modern techniques, but making it look like carved stone, if not carving it for real. The older properties and sites that you go to see are so beautiful because of the detail, and they're beautiful because of the detail that goes into them. That's what makes them survive so long. That's what makes people want to come back and see them. And you can still see some of the original detail on this one here. Amazing. The best preserved, well not preserved, but the longest standing one here. It's got loads of original details. You can see all the little nooks and crannies everywhere. And look at the window. There's one that survived. So the door over there that we saw would have been the same as this, and would have had all the detail in the top. Absolutely stunning. Look at that. And these pieces of wood you can see is the lintels over a small door there, and this lintel over what looks like a bricked up window. That piece of wood's probably, well, if it's original, it's hundreds of years old. Now, I told you I should have walked in the shade. I was talking for about 20 minutes earlier on, and the DJI that I use, like the GoPro, overheated, so I was talking for nothing. Here's the Abbey before the dissolution, and what amazing church, crucifix shape there, and all the grounds around it. So I think that's where we were, and that's that archway there, and we've walked around here, so it would have been pointing this way. So you can see the shape. There's the long section, the cross section there, running right the way through. Amazing. And this would have been the cloisters or something of that nature, I'd imagine. So you'd leave the church, this would go all the way round, green area in the middle. There's probably all arches that went up the inside of this and over. If you see my Norwich video, there's an amazing cloisters at Norwich Cathedral that I filmed. You must go and see that. Yeah, make sure you go down. I think it was 4 or 5 videos ago. Yeah, beautiful cathedral that was. And what do we have here? We have the tomb of Thomas Howard, Duke of Norfolk, Victor of Flodden Field. Now that was lovely, pastel di natas. I got a taste for those when I went to Porto. Now isn't this lovely? After you. There's a lot of people fishing the rivers here. The river Thet and the river Little Ouse merge here when I'm about to show you. This next place is called Nuns Bridges, and this is where the two rivers merge to become the river Little Ouse. Now Nuns Bridges are historic. They were used by the Iceni tribe. There would have been wooden bridges and Vikings and also the Romans, but recently they're still in use today, but recently World War II tanks actually used the bridges, and there's marks or scuffs on them apparently. I don't know if we'll see them because I need to find exactly where they are, but yeah, it's very beautiful here. So where we're walking now is Spring Walk. Now it's Thetford Spa and Fountain of Health. So they actually found a spring along here where the bridges are, where we're going to be going soon, but they couldn't make it work. They wanted to try and make it into a spa town like Bath, but they had one spring and they couldn't pump enough up to make it worthwhile. But yeah, there's an actual spring, and this is where this path gets its name from, Spring Walk. Very nice walk too. I tell you, it's nice and cool under the shade of the trees, and you've got a nice breeze blowing right along the river. Very hot today. Been very hot recently, so is that a sign of the summer, or have we had that summer too soon? I must say the water's very clean. That's why you've got the children paddling in there. I'm not sure I'd let my kids paddle in there, but it does look clean. I never do understand why people bring their dogs out in the baking hot. That dog had a muzzle around its nose. Couldn't breathe. It's so hot. It's no good this time of day. Early morning or late night for walking your dogs, please. So this is Nuns Bridges. Very historic bridges. Date back to the Iron Age Iceni tribe. Vikings, Romans, used in the Second World War and used now. Oh, and there they are. There's the gouges made by the Second World War tank. Can you see them in the brickwork? See them? There's a gouge there, can you see it? All the way up there. All the gouges there. They're by Second World War tanks. Now the next thing I want to show you is Thetford Castle Mound. Now this is a mound built inside an Iron Age earthwork wall. Now if you look over there you see the Iron Age earthwork around it, and inside you see the England's highest Norman motte in England, and it's built directly inside this ancient Iron Age earthwork, and the massive artificial hill and bailey originally served as a strategic military fortress before its destruction in 1173. We're going to look on this very hot day. It's 31 degrees now. Let's go. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. $89. So this is sitting right in the middle. I've got a nice breeze up here, that's nice. Right in the middle of Thetford. You've got amazing views from up here, which is why they built it in the first place. You can see all the way out towards Norwich. I can see all the way over, if you can hear me in this wind, in towards Suffolk. You can see the pub from here. Very good vantage point to keep your tribe safe. This is something that if the time team went and made an archaeological dig somewhere and found these hills and everything scattered about, they'd go crazy, they'd throw parties, but it's just sitting here right in the middle of Thetford. An Iron Age earthwork to protect the tribe inside, and a Norman castle mount built up like this with a wooden castle which would have sat right in the middle here. And of course, if you're in the castle, you're up even higher, so amazing views over the countryside. Stunning. So that brings us to the end of the video. I've got this place myself, so perfect place to do an outro. I'm going to go and find the family, get myself ready for my trip abroad. Strange place to do an outro, but you know, yet again perfect because of the amazing views behind me. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you like this video. It's a bit thrown together rather than not putting anything out this week when I'm in between getting ready to go abroad, and I had nothing planned for this week as such. I hope the video comes together. I hope I've managed to create something that's watchable and interesting for you. If you like this video, or if you've got anything to tell me about Thetford or anything I've said good or bad, leave a comment down below. I look forward to your comments. I try to answer all of them, and look out for next week's video. As I say, it might be Friday, but maybe Saturday or Sunday. We'll have to see, which means if I can get it edited on the move. But thanks very much for watching. You're the best. I'll see you later. Bye bye.